Jerry Mallory here for SB Nation and PrivateTrade.com, here to talk about the most underrated player on the Detroit Lions. Who do you think is the most underrated player? Well, I'll give you mine in just 1 second. This topic came about in response to Rex Ryan, who talked about his linebacker, former Michigan alumni standout David Harris, being not just the most underrated player on his New York Jets, but the most underrated player in the NFL. Now, I do agree, David Harris is vastly underrated. He's done a fine job at the linebacker for Rex Ryan, but most underrated player in the NFL? That's a little bit of a stretch. But nonetheless, we're here to give you, me, however you want to view it, whether it be private trade videos or just my personal opinion of who's the most underrated player for our Detroit Lions. There's a couple of guys. Honorable mention can go to several individuals. Stephen Tulloch may come to mind. Another linebacker who just gets in there, gets the job done, and that's it. You know, not a lot of flair, not a lot of showmanship. You know, you're not going to see him on ESPN for good or for bad, but he's always around the ball. He's always going to get plenty of tackles. You got a guy like Rob Sims, I think gets overlooked quite a bit. Now, his first few years with Detroit were probably better. He's getting a little bit older, but he has still been a very solid force right there in the interior offensive line, a position that had a lot of flux before he came, and he's provided quite a bit. But the winner for me is going to be our safety, Glover Quin. I've got 3 reasons why he is the most underrated player on our team, and we're going to see a little bit more from him this year than we did last year. Because of the scheme last year, I don't think we saw what Glover Quin can become. So, giving you reasons why he will improve, thus he's underrated, because a lot of people are expecting him to do as much. Number 1, it's a new scheme for him, a scheme that fits him better. The Baltimore Ravens-esque scheme that Jim Caldwell will be running, Terrell Austin will be installing. They use free safeties and strong safeties. This was not the case with Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz said, hey, you know, safeties are interchangeable. They play the same type of philosophy here with this wide 9 scheme that we're running. Well, as a consequence, Glover Quin kind of falls short a little bit. Now, he had a decent year, don't get me wrong. But, you know, the year before in Houston was a lot better because of the scheme fitting. We're not going to be a straight up 3-4, but the philosophies are going to cater to Glover Quin's needs a little bit better. The next one is related. I just said it. It's the position. He actually has the position being a free safety this time. Last year, he was just a safety. James ahead of him. Strong safety. In the box. Free safety. Roaming. A center fielder. You know, I'm not going to go so far as to say an Earl Thomas type of player Glover Quin is, but he will do a little bit more this year because he'll be back a little bit more. He'll be more of a center fielder. So playing his natural position of free safety will deem him a little bit better, which is why he's now underrated. He's under the radar. People aren't thinking about him. Last but not least are the surrounding players. You know, you play with Louis Delmas, a lot of times you have to cover up for Delmas' mistakes. Delmas is around the ball. He makes big plays, but he blows lots of assignments. So Quin has to worry about, well, where's my teammate? Where's that other safety, Delmas? What is he doing? Also, we'll be getting blitzes now from your safeties. You'll be getting blitzes from your linebackers. This is going to help. Glover Quin is going to have a much more aggressive defense in front of him. Exotic looks means hurried and bad passes, which means Glover Quin has a better year. And in essence, he's underrated. People aren't thinking about him. This year is over. I think his name will be bandied about a little bit more. Who do you think is the most underrated player for the Detroit Lions? Heck, you can talk about some underrated players for the NFL as a whole. Leave your comments, thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, this has been Jerry Mallory for SB Nation and PrivateTrade.com.